Men over 60. A doctor reveals 3 forgotten habits that rebuild muscle and protect independence. All right, let's get right into our plan. Now, before we talk about what foods to add to your diet, we have to start with the most important step, a step that almost everyone overlooks. This is part 1, the foundation. Preparing your tools. And what I mean by that is this. The first, most crucial step isn't about what you eat. It's about preparing your environment. It's about setting the stage for success by cleaning out your kitchen and your pantry. Now, here's a critical mistake that I see so many well-intentioned people make. They hear that a certain food is good for them. Let's say it's salmon. So they go to the grocery store, they buy a beautiful piece of wild-caught salmon, and they bring it home and put it in the fridge. But right next to that healthy salmon is a processed frozen pizza. And in the pantry, next to the healthy oatmeal, is a box of cookies and a bag of potato chips. They try to add good things into a system that is already filled with saboteurs. These are the hidden enemies that are silently working against you, draining your energy and undermining your efforts before you even get started. Trying to build strength in a body filled with these foods is like trying to build a house during an earthquake. It's just not going to work. So why is this so critical? Why does clearing out the junk matter so much? It comes down to a key biological process called low-grade chronic inflammation. Think of it like a low-level static or a hum in the background of your body. It's always on, it never shuts off. This constant simmering inflammation is caused by foods high in sugar, unhealthy fats, and processed ingredients. This static drains your energy reserves. It's why you feel tired for no reason. It contributes to those aching joints when you wake up in the morning. And critically, for our discussion today, it sends a constant signal to your muscles that says, don't bother rebuilding. It actively prevents the very muscle growth and strength preservation we are trying to achieve. And this isn't just a theory I have from my practice. The science on this is incredibly clear. Multiple studies published in places like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition have shown a direct, powerful link between diets that cause inflammation and a measurable decline in physical function in older adults. One study in particular found that individuals with the highest levels of inflammatory markers in their blood had significantly weaker grip strength and slower walking speeds, 2 of the most important predictors of future independence. The evidence is powerful. You simply cannot build a strong body on an inflamed foundation. To put it simply, I want you to think of your body as a garden, and your pantry is the soil. You can buy the most expensive, high-quality seeds in the world. Those are your healthy foods. But if you try to plant those seeds in soil that is choked with weeds, rocks, and pests, what do you think will happen? The seeds won't sprout. They won't get the nutrients they need. They will fail. Cleaning out your kitchen is simply weeding the garden. It's giving your body a clean, fertile place where strength and vitality can actually grow. So how do you do this? How can you start weeding your garden tonight? I recommend starting by removing just 3 things. It's a simple, manageable first step. Number 1, any packaged cookies, cakes, or crackers. These are usually loaded with sugar and processed flour, which drives inflammation. Number 2, those big, clear plastic jugs of vegetable oil, like soybean, corn, or canola oil. These are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which, in excess, can promote an inflammatory response. Switch to olive oil or avocado oil instead. And number 3, any frozen meal or canned soup with a list of ingredients longer than your thumb. If you can't pronounce half the words on the label, it's likely a source of inflammation. Replace them with simple, whole foods. Stock up on clean proteins like chicken or fish and colorful vegetables. Make the healthy choice the easy choice. I had a patient, a lovely woman named Susan, who was 68 years old. She was suffering from terrible knee pain, and she thought it was just arthritis she had to live with. I didn't give her any complex diet plan. I just gave her this one assignment. For 1 week, just weed your pantry garden. Get rid of those 3 categories of food. A week later, she called my office. She told me the pain in her knees had reduced by half. Half, just from removing the inflammation. And here's the synergy. The pro tip. When she finally did start adding in more nutrient-dense foods, her body was ready to receive them. The results were magnified. This one small tweak of cleaning first made every other effort more powerful. It made a world of difference for her, and I promise, it can for you too. If you're ready to start this journey with a strong foundation, just type "clean slate" in the comments below. It's a powerful statement that you're ready for real change. So now that we've weeded the garden, now that we've prepared our foundation, it's time to plant the first most important seed of the day. This brings us to part 2, the sunrise fuel. The protein breakfast. The goal here is simple. We want to start your day with a breakfast that is rich in high-quality protein instead of one that's loaded with simple carbohydrates. But here's the mistake so many of us make, and it's a trap that's been set for decades. For years, we've been told that a healthy breakfast is a bowl of cereal, maybe some toast with jam, or a glass of orange juice. We grew up with this. It's a habit. But for a body over 60, starting your day this way is like starting a marathon by sprinting the first 100 yards. You get a quick burst of energy, followed by a complete crash. These high-carbohydrate, high-sugar breakfasts cause your blood sugar to spike dramatically and then plummet just an hour or two later. That mid-morning crash, that feeling where you suddenly need a nap around 10:30 a.m., that is often the direct result of a breakfast that worked against your biology, not with it. So why is protein in the morning so incredibly effective? There are 2 key scientific reasons. First, it's about blood sugar stability. Unlike carbohydrates, protein is digested slowly and steadily. It provides a long-lasting, stable source of energy that keeps you feeling full, focused, and even-keeled all morning long. No spike, and more importantly, no crash. Second, and this is crucial for maintaining strength and independence, protein provides the essential building blocks, the amino acids, that your body desperately needs in the morning. You see, while you sleep, your body goes into a natural state of breakdown, a process we call catabolism. It's essentially fasting for 8 hours. When you wake up, your muscles are starving for raw materials to stop this breakdown process and switch back into repair and rebuilding mode. Giving them protein first thing in the morning is like giving a construction crew a delivery of bricks and mortar right at the start of their shift. It allows them to get to work immediately, and the science backs this up beautifully. A landmark study from the University of Texas Medical Branch looked at how older adults synthesize muscle. They found that individuals who distributed their protein intake evenly throughout the day, but especially those who front-loaded it at breakfast, had a 25% better rate of muscle protein synthesis compared to those who ate most of their protein at dinner, which is what most Americans do. 25%. That is a massive advantage in the fight to stay strong. Here's a simple analogy. Think of your body like a car before a long road trip. That breakfast you eat is your fuel. A breakfast of cereal and toast is like putting cheap, low-octane gasoline in the tank. The car will run, but it will sputter, it will struggle on the hills, and it will run out of gas long before you reach your destination. A protein-rich breakfast, on the other hand, is like filling that same car with premium, high-performance fuel. The engine runs smoothly. It has consistent power. It has the stamina to go the distance all day long. You need premium fuel to feel and perform your best. So how do you actually do this? I promise it's not complicated. You don't need to cook a fancy meal. Here are 3 simple 5-minute options. Number 1, 2 scrambled eggs. Simple, classic, and packed with high-quality protein. Number 2, a cup of plain Greek yogurt. Not the flavored kind with all the sugar, plain Greek yogurt. Then you can add a small handful of berries for fiber and flavor. Or number 3, my personal favorite for busy mornings, a simple protein smoothie. Just mix a scoop of quality protein powder with some unsweetened almond milk and a handful of spinach. You can't even taste the spinach, I promise. The key here is consistency. Just start with one of these, 3 times a week. I have a patient, David, who's 78 years old. He told me he was a professional napper. That was his term. He said he simply couldn't get through a day without a long nap after lunch. We looked at his diet, and sure enough, he was starting every single day with cereal. We made one change, just one. We swapped his cereal for Greek yogurt and berries. 2 weeks later, he came back to my office and he told me, "Doc, you put me out of business. I'm not a professional napper anymore." And here's the synergy. Because he wasn't tired, he started taking a short walk in the afternoon. That walk, combined with the protein he was now eating, started to build real, functional strength in his legs. The simple breakfast gave him the energy for the activity that built the strength that gave him even more energy. It's a beautiful, powerful cycle. If this idea of all-day energy without the crash sounds good to you, let me know by typing energy in the comments below. All right, so we've prepared the foundation by cleaning our pantry. We've planted the seed of energy with a protein breakfast. Now, it's time to send the signal that tells that seed to grow. This brings us to our final core component. Part 3, internal stimulation. The gentle resistance moves. What we're going to talk about now is the single most effective way to wake up your muscles and tell them it's time to get stronger. And the best part is, you can do this safely, right in your own living room. Now let's address the biggest mistake I see when it comes to exercise for people over 60. It's the belief that to build strength, you have to go to a gym, lift heavy weights, and push yourself to the point of exhaustion. For many, this is more than just intimidating. If you have aching joints or you're worried about getting injured, the idea of a commercial gym can be downright scary. So what happens? Most people do nothing at all. They choose inaction because they believe the only effective action is too risky or too difficult. And this is a tragic mistake because it's simply not true. So why are these gentle movements so powerful? How can something so simple create real, lasting strength? The science comes down to a fundamental principle of biology, the principle of adaptation. Your muscles are incredibly smart. They are designed to adapt to the demands you place on them. If you never ask them to do any work, they adapt by getting smaller and weaker. They think, well, I guess I'm not needed, so I'll conserve energy. But the moment you put a muscle under a load, any load, even a gentle one, you send a powerful biochemical signal. It's a wake-up call. This signal tells the muscle cells to activate their repair and rebuilding machinery. It tells them to take the protein they ate for breakfast and use it to synthesize new, stronger muscle fibers. The muscle doesn't care if you're lifting a 50-pound dumbbell or just lifting your own body weight out of a chair. All it knows is that a demand was made, and it will respond to that demand by growing stronger to meet it in the future. And please, don't just take my word for it. The scientific evidence on this is overwhelming and incredibly empowering. The Journals of Gerontology, one of the most respected publications in my field, has published numerous studies on this. In one meta-analysis, they looked at dozens of trials and found that low-intensity resistance training, using simple tools like resistance bands or even just bodyweight exercises, was remarkably effective at combating sarcopenia. The participants in these studies showed significant improvements in muscle mass, walking speed, and their ability to perform daily tasks. The conclusion is clear. The key is not the intensity of the load, but the consistency of the signal. Here's the simplest way I can explain it. And think of your muscles like an old friend you haven't spoken to in years. If you never call them, never reach out, that relationship is going to fade away. It will weaken over time. But the moment you pick up the phone and make that call, the moment you send that signal, you start to rebuild that connection. It doesn't have to be a long, dramatic conversation. Just a simple, "Hello, I'm thinking of you," is enough to keep the bond alive. These gentle exercises are for you. Calling your muscles, you're reminding them that you still need them, that they are still a vital part of your life, and they will answer that call. So how do we make this practical? What can you do today after watching this video? I want to give you one incredibly simple, yet profoundly effective exercise. It's the one I give to almost all of my patients when they are starting. It's called the chair stand. All you need is a sturdy chair, one that won't slide. A dining room chair is perfect. You're going to sit on the edge of the chair with your feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. Cross your arms over your chest. Now, keeping your back straight, I want you to simply stand up all the way, then slowly and with control, sit back down. That's one repetition. Your goal is to do this 10 times. If it's difficult at first, that's okay. Use your hands to push off your legs if you need to. The goal is just to start. The goal is to send the signal. Try to do this just once a day. That's it. I have to tell you about one of my most inspiring patients, Margaret. She was 81 years old when I first met her, and her biggest fear was falling and not being able to get back up. It kept her from leaving her home. We started her on a protein-rich diet, and we gave her this one single exercise, the chair stands, every day. 1 month later, she came into my office with tears in her eyes, happy tears. She told me that the week before, she had knelt in her garden, and for the first time in years, she was able to stand back up on her own without help. The look of freedom on her face. It's something I'll never forget, and that is the perfect synergy. The protein she was eating provided the bricks, and the chair stand was the construction crew, telling those bricks exactly where to go to build a stronger foundation. It all works together. A clean pantry, the sunrise fuel, and the gentle signal. This is the blueprint for rebuilding your strength and protecting your independence for all the years to come. We've covered the 3 pillars of building strength: the foundation, the fuel, and the signal. But there is one final piece to this puzzle. It's the step that ties everything together and ensures your progress is sustainable for the long run. This brings us to our bonus 4th part, a crucial element that I call the aftercare. The art of recovery and listening. What we're talking about here is simple. It's everything you do after you send that gentle signal to your muscles. It's the cool down, the recovery. It's the moment you stop talking to your body and start listening back. Now, the most common mistake I see is that people treat the end of an exercise as a finish line. They do their 10 chair stands, they check it off their list, and then they immediately move on with their day. They walk away. They completely ignore the most important conversation their body is trying to have with them. This is a huge missed opportunity. Because ignoring this conversation not only slows down your progress, it can also lead to soreness, stiffness, and even injury down the road. It's like ending a phone call by just hanging up without saying goodbye. You miss the most important part of the exchange. So, why is this aftercare period so vitally important? Why does what you do after the movement matter so much? The science is fascinating. Your muscles do not get stronger during the exercise itself. That's a common misconception. The exercise is simply the stimulus, the signal. The actual growth, the repair, and the strengthening. All of that happens afterwards during the recovery period. 2 things are critical during this window. First, hydration. Your muscle cells are over 70% water. When you exercise, you lose water. Replenishing it immediately is essential for transporting nutrients into the cells to begin the repair process, and for flushing out metabolic waste products that can cause soreness. Second, gentle stretching. When you work a muscle, the fibers contract. Gentle stretching afterwards helps to reset those fibers to their natural resting length. This increases flexibility, improves circulation to the area, and sends a calming signal to your nervous system, shifting your body from a state of stress to a state of rest and repair. And this isn't just for professional athletes. The field of exercise physiology has consistently shown, in study after study, that a proper cool-down period is one of the most critical factors for injury prevention and long-term adherence to any physical activity program. For older adults, this is not optional, it is essential. A simple 5-minute cool down can dramatically reduce the risk of strains and sprains that could set you back for weeks. I want you to think of it this way. Imagine you have a beautiful antique wooden table, a priceless family heirloom. You wouldn't just wipe it down with a dry rag and call it a day, would you? Of course not. After you clean it, you would take the time to apply a high-quality polish or a conditioning oil. You'd rub it in gently. You'd protect the wood, nourish it, and ensure it lasts for generations to come. This period of aftercare, the hydration and the stretching, this is the conditioning oil for your body. It is the act of nourishing and protecting the incredible machine you have, ensuring it serves you well for all the years you have ahead of you. So how do we put this into practice? It is incredibly simple. Immediately after you finish your chair stands or your daily walk, I want you to do 2 things. First, drink a full 8-ounce glass of water. Before you do anything else, just rehydrate. Second, spend just 5 minutes doing some gentle stretches. You can sit on that same chair, extend one leg out, and gently lean forward until you feel a light stretch in the back of your thigh. Hold it for 30 seconds. Then, do the other leg. You can reach your arms up to the ceiling, take a deep breath, and feel the stretch in your sides. The goal is not to force anything. It should feel good. It should feel relaxing. And while you're doing this, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. Body, how are you feeling? Just listen. Is there any pinching? Any sharp pain? Or does it just feel like the pleasant tiredness of muscles that have done good work? This is how you learn the unique language of your own body. I'll share a quick story. A patient of mine named George, a 75-year-old gentleman, was doing great with his new routine, but he kept complaining about terrible leg cramps at night that would wake him from his sleep. We went through everything he was eating and doing. It was all perfect. Finally, I asked him, "George, what do you do right after your evening walk?" He said, "I come inside. I take off my shoes and I sit down to watch the news." There it was. He was missing the aftercare. I gave him one simple instruction. The moment you walk in the door, before you do anything else, drink a glass of water and do those 2 simple leg stretches I just showed you. He called me 1 week later. He said, "Doc, it's like magic. The cramps are gone." And here is the beautiful synergy. Because the cramps were gone, he was finally sleeping through the night. And high-quality sleep is the ultimate recovery tool. It's when your body produces growth hormone and does its deepest muscular repair. By adding a simple 5-minute cool down, he unlocked a deeper, more restorative level of sleep, which in turn accelerated his strength gains from the walking. It's all connected. The foundation, the fuel, the signal, and the aftercare. They all work together in a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. So let's bring everything together. We've just uncovered a simple yet powerful 3-part blueprint for taking back your strength. We learned how to prepare the foundation by clearing the inflammatory clutter from our kitchens, how to fuel our mornings with a protein-rich sunrise breakfast for all-day energy, and how to send that gentle, consistent signal to our muscles to wake up and grow stronger. But as I always tell my patients, knowledge without action, well, that's just entertainment. The real magic happens when you decide to act. So here is your simple 3-step action plan for this week, your doctor's prescription, if you will. First, I want you to go into your pantry and remove just one of the inflammatory items we talked about. Just one, that's it. Second, commit to having a protein-rich breakfast just 3 times this week. Not every day, just 3. And third, try the simple chair stand exercise, 10 times a day. It takes less than 2 minutes. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be thinking, "Dr. Wells, I'm just too tired to start." Or maybe, "Is this really enough to make a difference?" And here is my answer. The beautiful paradox is that the energy you're looking for is found on the other side of the action you're avoiding. Taking that first small step creates the energy for the next one. And as for the cost, I promise you, The price of a dozen eggs is infinitely smaller than the cost of losing your independence down the road. Remember why we are doing this. This isn't just about being able to lift a heavier bag of groceries. This is about being able to confidently walk up a flight of stairs without losing your breath. It's about having the strength to kneel and play with your grandchildren on the floor, and the confidence to know you can get back up again, all on your own. This is about protecting your freedom, your future self, the one who is vibrant, active, and independent, is counting on the small, simple choices you make today. So if you are committed to taking that first step with me, I want to personally invite you to join our community of action takers. First, hit that subscribe button because you won't want to miss the practical guides we have coming up. And more importantly, I want you to go to the comments section right now and write 2 simple words. Day 1. This isn't for me. This is for you. It is your public commitment to yourself. It is the start of your journey, and we are all here to support you. Thank you so much for investing your valuable time with me today. In our next video, we're going to explore 3 nutritional supplements that have been scientifically shown to be safe and incredibly effective for supporting the health of men over 60. It's a topic you won't want to miss. Until then, I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, and I want to remind you to stay informed, stay strong, and be the author of your own health story.